Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory podcast. Here today with Tad and Will. We're here to talk to you about all 32 teams in the NFL all season long, all throughout, their stories, their highlights, and their struggles. So, here today in week 15, we're here to bring you a matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions that took place. Obviously, Tad, the Detroit Lions are, this was a game um, that they certainly wanted to have, certainly felt like they could have. But honestly, Buffalo came out into this football game and they controlled the tempo. They ran the ball well. They passed well. Josh Allen literally didn't get sacked once. Um, James Cook, over 105 yards of rushing, the two tutties. Josh Allen, the two tutties for rushing. So, that's, six total touchdowns there. And then, Khalil Shakir also with that touchdown, Ray Davis as well. So, the Buffalo Bills were able to come out here in this game and spread the ball around, run it efficiently, pass it efficiently. Obviously a 95.2 QBR from Josh Allen. That's very decent. 23 of 34. So he completed literally like at least over 80% of his passes. So just an all around clean game of football by the Bills offense. And I mean, even their defense too, shook off a pretty stingy Lions defense. I mean, this game honestly kind of like you look at it and like, wow, 48-42. But I mean, that's also not a disrespect to either one of the defenses, as both the offenses have weapons for sure. So unfortunately in this game, David Montgomery did get hurt, and it seems that he has suffered a PCL strain in what they're expecting to be a season-ending injury. And it just, obviously you still got a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs in that backfield. But ultimately, you just really hate to see it for David Montgomery.
Yeah, definitely not good. I mean, a lot of injuries going on for Detroit. And I mean, we saw what the defense looks like now with a lot of their key pieces out, and they're continuing to lose pieces on the defense. So, and of course, Montgomery for the season. I mean, you had the best 1-2 punch at running back in the league, and now Jahmyr Gibbs going basically solo. I mean, they'll have a backup, but he's now the clear cut number one. But it's not the same. I mean, the defense just not the same. I get the Bills are the Bills and they score a lot of points on a lot of teams, but the defense, I mean, they're going to need to be better than that if they want to make a run in the playoffs. I mean, that's just bottom line if you want to go to the Super Bowl, which is what this team wants to do. The guys that you have left on the defense are going to have to play better than they played in this football game.
Yeah, they're going to have to play better. They're going to have to come out and be able to find ways to, just have that next man up mentality, right, Tad? You're going to definitely need your playmakers to step up. And the guy, I mean, I certainly do believe, that this team has depth. This team still, even with the injuries, Tad, does have a lot of talent. This is a team that can still make a run. I mean, as long as you got Jared Goff healthy, I mean, that's the biggest key component to that. I mean, 38 of 59, 494 yards, 5 touchdowns. You did get sacked 3 times. I mean, despite the result, I mean, that's a beautiful performance, really, from Jared Goff.
Yep. The problem for Detroit right now, it's not their offense. Their offense is cooking, doing whatever they can, just moving the ball well, not really turning the ball over very much. They did have the one fumble by Amon-Ra, but other than that, they just do what they can. They move the ball, they score touchdowns. Just not quite enough with the defense. I mean, the offense, a legendary game from Jared Goff. I mean, almost 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, no turnovers out of Goff. So I don't know. It's to me, it's just what can the defense do? That's my question. How can they keep it together with all these injuries?
How can they keep it together? How can they come up and bring themselves together? You know,
Yeah,
I was mentioning all season long, them being the best team in the NFL. Can they still be the best team in the NFL? Yeah, they have that potential to be that now, but it's going to be a lot harder to prove yourself as that with some of your key components being out. So, just it's going to be tough, but I believe that Dan Campbell will find a way to rally the troops this week. I mean, next week the Lions, they're gonna be going on to, let's see. I mean, yeah, it looks like Detroit goes on to play the Chicago Bears on the road next week. So, like I said, I would expect Dan Campbell to rally the troops, do what you need to do to go into Soldier Field on Sunday afternoon. You're going to win that football game, trust and believe, despite what's going on.
yeah. I mean, they'll just have to hold it together. They'll have to keep the defense intact. And I mean, Chicago, they're certainly not playing very good football right now. So we'll see what it's a division rivalry. It's the NFL. Anything can happen, but I mean, that's a game that you'd expect Detroit to be able to get back on track.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I certainly believe, that, they're gonna, I just, it's tough. And, this is the last thing you needed if you're this Lions team. You're a franchise
Sure.
that has overcome so much, has persevered through so much just to be at this point. And it's just not what you need to see right now at all. So, if you're the Bills, though, we haven't even like credited them, credit to them
Hmm.
all that much. But the Buffalo Bills, yeah, you're now obviously,
Wow.
first place. What's up?
Yeah, I was just saying, wow, with the Buffalo Bills, what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, and the thing is, Tad, is in our preseason research, I mean, we knew that this was a first place schedule. And I remember when we were preseason analyzing the Buffalo Bills schedule, and we thought to ourselves, sir, man, this is one tough schedule, wasn't it? And here they are, they're 11-3. So, yeah, wow, exactly. To say the least about them. You go out, you draft a guy in Keon Coleman. You go out and you draft a guy in Cole Bishop, Ray Davis, even, guys that have been making a difference right off the bat, especially Keon Coleman. And you add that to what you already had going on. Obviously, that loss to the Rams, 2 weeks ago was a bummer, but like you said, I mean, there's three losses: Ravens, Texans, Rams. Three teams that are going to go to the playoffs, and you beat the Chiefs at home. So, who is the best team in the NFL, Tad? I mean, I certainly think that you could argue a case for this Buffalo Bill squad, perhaps.
And I mean, if you look at the rest of their schedule, I mean, it's the Patriots, the Jets, and then the Patriots again. I mean, there's a pretty good case that could be made. I mean, it's the NFL; anything can happen, but there's a pretty good case that could be made that they could be 14-3 at the end of the season. I mean, we'll see. That they got a lot to play for. See if they can chase down Kansas City, get the 1 seed. A lot to play for Buffalo. A really good football team.
Yeah, absolutely. So you find a way to win on the road against a very feisty Detroit team. Yeah. And for the Bills next week, yeah, you mentioned it. They're going to be going to play
The Patriots.
the Patriots. How nice of the New England Patriots to go on the road and scrimmage the Buffalo Bills.
We'll see. It's the NFL; anything can happen.
I mean, yeah, yeah, you're right, but still, to me, it would take nothing short of a miracle for the Patriots to win that game. I definitely would expect the Bills to be extremely heavy favorites at home.
I mean, they'll be favorites for sure, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I didn't really have any other final thoughts or takes on Bills versus Lions. Just you hate to see it for David Montgomery. Hope
Yeah.
Detroit can recover. Did you have any other final thoughts or takes on Bills versus Lions?
I did not.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along all season long, covering all 32 teams. Be sure to check out our playoff scenarios, our playoff pictures coming up here in a couple of weeks. We're getting down to the brass tacks of the season. It's getting really fun. So, yeah. Thanks again for watching, and this is the Gridiron Glory.